Hello, this is Charlie Fordham. The Word still speaks. From emptiness to fullness. Listen to the teachings of Jesus from a short but impactful little story in John chapter 5, verses 1 to 14. Jesus was wandering through the city of Jerusalem and went into the area of the sheep pool, which is called Bethesda. It has 5 porticos with a pool in the middle. Round the pool, every day of the week, there were scores of blind people, lame, deaf, paralyzed, and many others afflicted by various sicknesses. People wanting their illnesses healed by being the first to jump into the pool when the waters were stirred. They believed this. That's why they were there. The moment at which the waters would be stirred, nobody knew, but they all hoped and expected, and on and on and on it went. Every single person around this pool was characterized by both sickness of one kind or another, and also characterized by one common hope in expectation for days, weeks, months, and even years. Amazing. Who would be the blessed person to get into the pool first on the day the waters were stirred and get healed? Nobody knew, but they waited and waited and they waited. One person in this whole crowd was about to be impacted by Jesus Christ, but not in the way anyone expected. This one, in the midst of this crowd, had been an invalid for 38 years. Crippled as he was, he knew he did not have the capacity in himself to reach the water, so was convinced he needed someone to help him into the water to get the healing for which he so longed. Familiar story to most of us. He had nobody who evidently would be a friend to him, rushing him to what he thoroughly believed would be the only answer to his dilemma of his physical immobility. That was his testimony. He stubbornly stayed there day after day, week after week, and even year after year. He kept hoping and hoping that maybe one day he would somehow be the first into the water. But his testimony in this short story was that he had actually given up and resorted to blame. Along came Jesus Christ walking in the area of the sick and the longing, the hopeful yet painfully suffering people. Walking amongst the many in dire need, Jesus stopped at this one certain man, 38 years in this plight. And in answer to Jesus' very simple question, "Do you want to be made whole?" the man had a string of answers, but only complaints as to why he was not healed. He never did give Jesus a straight answer regarding his dilemma. He simply blamed. Jesus didn't ask him why he was not already healed. He only asked him if he wanted to be made well. The man was just like many of us. If something is wrong and we feel stuck in life, we are full of blame. We blame siblings, a spouse, perhaps a co-worker, the employer or no employer, the government, the administration and administrators, the board of the church or its members, the weather, or we sometimes even blame God himself. Many finally just blame themselves. No answer or solution comes from any amount of blaming. Only a fleshly, transient, or pseudo-satisfaction, no healing or any true satisfaction. In Genesis 3, Satan himself blamed God as having false motives for his instruction to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden as to why God would have given them instruction to not eat of a certain tree. In doing so, he planted doubt in the heart of man. Jesus Christ himself bore the blame and became sin who knew no sin. He wants us to entrust to him the unknown. Blaming won't solve a thing. Jesus in the story of John 5, 1 to 14 doesn't argue. He doesn't discuss the issue nor the problem. He doesn't even explain it. He doesn't correct. Well, not immediately anyway. He doesn't put just a band-aid fix on the poor, disappointed man who hopes against all odds that someday there would be help from his plight. But this was his day, unexpected, unplanned, God's gift to him, a total surprise. Jesus gives him a very simple and very clear instructions. Get up, pick up your sleeping mat and walk. The man was immediately healed, and up he got with his sleeping mat and walked through the temple. Yes, an amazing story, but the lesson in the story is not necessarily so much about the man and his 38 years of immobility as it was about Jesus pointing out to him about his future and how to avoid what could be even worse. The man's unbelief before the healing was as dangerous as the unbelief after the healing. So Jesus met him in the temple afterwards and solemnly warned him to go forward in life now. Stop sinning, just in case a worse thing happened. What is it that he tells us to watch for, to refrain from, to reject, and to be warned seriously to not meddle with? There could be worse consequences. Listen, hear, wait. He is speaking. Obey his voice. He's with you to deliver you, to make you productively mobile. Also filling your heart and life too with amazement and joy. In that sense, you too can walk and run again. The word still speaks. Now, if you have any comments or questions, write to me. My name is Charlie Fordham. My address is cfordham@capeandray.ca. cfordham@capeandray.ca. And make sure to let me know the country in which you live and something about yourself, as I would like to respond to you personally. You can find my details for address and phone numbers on our website, www.capeandray.ca. capeandray.ca.